3 big reasons why men don't approach women anymore. You see a hot girl walking down the street, your heart starts beating out of your chest, you overthink it, and she walks by. This approach anxiety is designed to protect you out of fear of getting rejected, okay? It's a normal thing. Some guys may think, am I gonna be perceived as being a creep? Maybe word will get out that you went and approached a girl at work, you got rejected, and it didn't go so hot. Women talk. They don't want anything to do with women anymore. They've thrown in the towel, they're done trying to figure out women, done playing the game. They just think, I have to be really jacked, or I have to make a lot of money, or else there's no point in even trying.
Did you know that only 10% of men regularly approach women? That statistic is pretty shocking. And I'm not surprised with online dating apps, where many men are just taking the easy option. They would much prefer to just send a DM, because there's less risk involved. But here's the problem with that. The women you're after are getting tons of messages from tons of guys. So unless you really stand out, if you're super good looking, super well educated, you're not really going to have much of a chance. And also 80% of men only rarely approach women. They'll make an exception if they really like a girl. But the problem with this is these guys are unpracticed. So they come across as awkward because they are nervous, or even worse, they'll only do this after a few drinks at a bar, meaning they come off as a little bit too intense and can be a little bit creepy. So this doesn't look good for men or for women, especially when the other 10% never approach women whatsoever. And this is why you have to get confident and comfortable approaching women in the correct way so that you get a good, positive response. And this is exactly what I teach my clients. So if you want to learn how, I'm offering free coaching calls to see if you're a good fit for my program, where I'll coach you how to do this, as well as so much more. So make sure you hit the link in my bio, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
It is unwise to approach a woman because your reputation, employment, and life can be destroyed. If 80% of women are judging 80% of men for not being like 20% of the other men, even though they don't meet the same standards, it's laughable. Modern feminism seems to cherry-pick the benefits of being a traditional woman without the effort or responsibility of being a traditional woman. They're spoiled to believe a woman is a Disney princess, but act like the villain, entitled to more for less. There are sites, books, and speakers who advocate for taking a man for everything he has. Dating is predatory, as men don't financially rob women nearly as much as women do men. The law even assists those who do. Be handsome, over 6 feet tall, have a six-pack, massive arms, and a 6-figure salary. Otherwise, you're automatically a creep to women. I have seen men approach after an indication of interest or before, and there wasn't any difference. The biggest issue in approaching women is fakes and no-shows. Also, lots of girls like showing up 2 hours later. Girls are just very entitled and don't respect men. Throughout my dating life, I felt like a beggar, regardless of having a top education and a very good professional career. Does it matter? No. Every woman thinks she's better than that, and her 10,000 Instagram followers confirm it. I recall a recent discussion I had with a professional pickup artist who mentioned making around 3,000 to 4,000 cold approaches in the last 5 years, resulting in only about 400 dates. Yes, those are the numbers one has to put in to see any results, and it's frustrating. Even a slightly attractive guy, maybe a 7 out of 10, is perceived as not good enough by women who believe they are too hot for any man. Back in the 90s, if you didn't cold approach, you risked spending your life alone. Cold approach was socially acceptable, and women were adept at letting you down in a polite manner if they weren't interested. Most of them already had a repertoire of lines to use on men they weren't into. This was how society functioned, whether it was bookstores, malls, bars, or shows. It was beneficial for men, as it gave them a little courage, and if they found success in it, it emboldened them to take other risks in life. However, online dating has completely changed the landscape in the West. There has been an intriguing paradox regarding masculinity for some time. Men in this hemisphere are constantly bombarded with messages that suggest there's something inherently wrong with behaving like masculine men who have desires and seek to fulfill them. Expressions like toxic masculinity are samples of the rhetoric they encounter, inducing them to be good guys who are detached from their masculine essence instead of being assertive individuals. On the other hand, women are taught to reject traditional femininity and embrace independence, empowerment, and strength. Consequently, men are being feminized while women are encouraged to adopt masculine traits. It's no wonder that men find themselves unsure of how to act or take the initiative when it comes to interacting with women. Why would you even approach someone who likely gets hit on hundreds of times by random guys online every day? Why make yourself vulnerable to someone who has likely learned and perfected preying on sexual attraction their entire lives? With a legal system and society completely supporting any female abuse, it just doesn't make sense to set yourself up for that. If so, many women are just praying to cash in on their privileges and boost up their insatiable egos. A lot of women nowadays have this strange air of entitlement. It means you have to almost beg for an opportunity. Your farts smell like everyone else's, lady. So many, but not all, women are arrogant and entitled. I'm sure there are some unicorns out there somewhere. A man can dream. Even if you wish to start approaching women, women in the West aren't worth the squeeze. 90% of the time, you are getting someone who has no skills, overrates her sexual abilities, thinks that swearing is a sign of being cool for some reason, and has basically forgotten how to be feminine. The remaining 10% are married, or in some kind of non-monogamous cult. Most Western women are not worth the effort of approaching. Yes, they can be very nice, successful, and outgoing, but this is not where the issue lies. It's a bit deeper. In general, men are nevertheless an empowered gender. Women can and sometimes do totally blank your approach, literally ignored you. You can hold a door for them, and they blank you, probably because they might get a lot of annoying guys coming onto them. Still, it's not worth dismissing your ego. Women can claim rape without evidence and ruin your life. They can even just say you're a creep or pervert. It doesn't matter if it's true. The damage gets done either way. To recap on why men don't approach women anymore. 1. Creep shaming. Unless you're an extremely confident and swaggering extrovert, you have a fear of being creep shamed, even if you look normal and not creepy. It has everything to do with attraction. If she's not attracted to you and a horrible person overall, then the chances of you being humiliated and creep shamed rise a lot. Some women are extremely harsh when turning down men. It's some sadistic pleasure for them too. Fear of rejection. Like the first point, it is more pronounced for socially awkward and insecure guys. As mentioned above, some guys have been rejected in extremely harsh ways, which prevents them from approaching women. Fear of being accused of molestation sounds paranoid, but some guys are quite wary of approaching women after the increase in false molestation cases being lodged. Women have a lot of power and can easily misuse our biased laws. Playing hard to get is another aspect. Some women play mind games, and when a woman rejects a guy's advances, he moves on. This perpetual cycle makes men tired of women's no. Not this again is a thought that runs through men's minds when they face rejection for the millionth time. 5. The woman seems unapproachable. Maybe she's wearing earphones, working on her laptop, or drinking coffee while reading a book, all of which indicate that she doesn't want to be disturbed. So men leave her in peace. Lastly, dating apps. Dating apps make things much easier. The hassle of approaching women and facing continuous rejection isn't there. On dating apps, your intentions are pretty clear. You're there to date. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.